everybody, and welcome to the Established Facts. Welcome to episode 251 of the Established Facts.
How'd we get here?
You know what?
Hard work, dedication, and lots of
And a
love.
long drive from the north side.
Exactly.
There you go. Hope you guys are doing well. We, as you can see, have got some fun laid out here on the table that we're going to go over with you. We're going to play a new game. I'm going to allow Dr. Deb, to introduce. So we'll go around the table, do our introductions, and then Dr. Deb will take it away. All right? That sound all right?
Sounds good.
Starting to my left.
My name is Lance.
It would.
Oh,
You're next.
I'm
around the
next?
Circle.
I'm confused.
We always
you're
go
to my
in a
left.
circle.
I'm to your left. See, I can't
We
even do
always go in
basic
a
math.
circle.
I'm Dr.
You're on my
Deb,
right.
and I'm confused.
That's.
This is Josh.
And of course, I'm your host, Big Don. yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so we're going to be playing a game with you, as we talked about. This game was released. Was it released at Gen Con?
I believe is when they first made it publicly available for sale.
Okay,
Deb and I were Kickstarter backers.
Right.
But this actually has a pretty interesting story related to Lance. That's
Yes.
why we're playing it.
so go ahead, Lance.
No, it's fine. I got to play the demo of this at Gen Con with Josh, Deb, and my wife Vanessa. And we liked it so much that I wanted to try to buy it, but you can't buy just the demo. So thanks to the wonderful people at Slugfest Game, I asked about maybe getting a copy of the demo, and they provided us with the entire game.
Amazing.
If you can see it on the camera there. There we go.
There we go.
So we'll be opening this one. Personally, we're going to use Josh and Deb's version of it right now.
right.
But yeah, just a coincidence of timing. Like the last day of Gen Con, Sunday, is a big day for you to try to go around and ask for things. And I did with no hopes, just wanting to buy it. And Slugfest Games very nicely donated a copy of this game for us to demo here for you guys.
That's right. So thank you, first of all, Slugfest Games. I think all of us have been huge
Yes.
fans of Slugfest for a very long time with Red Dragon Inn and
Very much.
several of the other, what is it, Adventures at Greyport? Or
Yeah.
is that what it's called?
Battle for Greyport.
Battle for
Greyport.
Greyport.
It's back there.
And so we are going to be playing Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. And I believe, Deb, if you're okay with taking the reins, we can get started. We'll kind of walk through a little bit of tutorial on what sort of actions and things like that we're going to take. But
And Josh, while she's talking, will you be Vanna White for us?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
awesome.
Please and
thank
thank
you
you.
so
So I don't have
much.
to reach
All
so
right, lady and gentleman, go for it.
So welcome back to the Red Dragon Inn, as the case may be. I'm so excited. I've already played Scenario 1 and Scenario 2 with my husband Josh in the 2-player variant, and we love it. The demo, if for those of you who have it, is 2.5. So it is played in between Scenario 2 and Scenario 3. So we are actually going to play Scenario 1 because it's the base. Everybody will have it if you own it, so you don't have to worry whether you did the Kickstarter or not. So this is Scenario 1, and as you see, we already have it set up.
It's also considered the training scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of spoilers because it's an ongoing campaign
Mm-hmm.
from top to bottom. I don't remember exactly how many scenarios were in it, but though it kind of feels like a legacy game, it's replayable legacy. So you're from what I could tell so far,
It's a
there's nothing
campaign
terrible.
style game.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not necessarily a legacy game. It's more of a campaign style
Yeah.
game.
And you're
Yeah.
not destroying anything as you go.
Not
Right.
that I'm aware of.
Not that we've seen yet, no. So you have choice of 6 of the famous characters from the Red Dragon Inn, and we are playing 4 of them right now. I am playing Deidre the Priestess.
I am Gog the Barbarian.
That's right. I'm Gurky, the thief.
And I'm Zot the Withered with his friend Pookie.
Because what's Zot without Pookie?
That's right.
So the other 2 choices are Eve, the illusionist, and Fiona, the fighter. But I went with Deidre, and you might see why. She's a healer.
Her goddess protects.
My goddess protects me. All right. So this game is a combination. So this has got some RPG element. This has got some dice element. This has got some it's deck building element. So it's got a lot of layers to it. So initially you start out, everyone has your player card in front of you. We all have this blue border around us because we are all fresh. None of us have fought anything.
I have a green border.
If
I do too.
yeah. Oh, do you have green borders?
It's
Oh, I'm
green.
sorry. Okay, our colors match. We're matching. If you get hit, which you get hit in this game, if the number matches the number of your fortitude, which is on here, in which case Deidre's is 8, Gog's is 10.
Gurky's is 8.
And Zot's is 8 as well.
Yep. So you will take away all of the damage you have on this side, and you flip your card over to the red bordered, and now you are wounded.
Okay.
And you continue to play. If you are hit on your wounded side up to your fortitude, then you are out. No one's ever really dead at the Red Dragon Inn. You pass out and they probably drag you back to your room and we'll see you again. But you are out of the scenario. So we're starting fresh.
Well, it depends. I mean, we're fighting monsters.
Yeah.
We might be dead.
Shh.
Okay.
I don't believe anyone ever dies at the Red Dragon Inn. You just pass out.
It's a magical place.
It
It is.
Place.
It's a very magical place.
You get drunk under the table.
Exactly, as you should. Everyone starts out in scenario 1 with 2 action cards and then an item that is specific to your character. So you can see we've already set all of these up. Some of these cards have a charge token associated with them. Mine does. In my case, I have 3 charges on it. A charge means that you can use it that number of times per scenario. So I can do this Wings of Alana, lambast my foes 3 times in the scenario, and then it's gone.
Unless something recharges it.
Correct. There are items that do recharge it. There's also other cards that have a cooldown that looks like this little hourglass cooldown. When I use it, I put that many cooldown tokens on top of it. There are actions that let you do cooldown, and at the beginning of every round, everyone removes 1 cooldown token from every card.
You'll hear us call that revigorate, invigorate.
Invigorate.
Recharge is to add a charge back. Invigorate is to remove a cooldown token.
Correct. Our items gave us something at the beginning. So I have the icon of godliness. It gave me 1 shield at the beginning. A shield can be used to remove protect from 2 points of damage. Gog has this lovely little red.
I have the bar stool that allows me to get a damage boost, which allows me to add 1 damage to an attack. It's an important element in this. There's no armor class like you'd be used to in a role-playing game. If the bad guy or you roll to hit, your damage shows damage. It just does damage. So unless you have a shield to block it, you're going to take the damage, as are they, which is unique and just shows you're going to hurt some things.
And some things might hurt you. Don over there, as our beloved Gurky, also has.
I got a soup spoon.
He does. He knows how to
I
use
don't
it.
know what I'm going to use it for other than soup.
You might eat some.
I might get hungry in the middle of a battle, a little bit of chili, a little bit of, who knows?
Yeah.
A soup spoon.
It's a soup spoon. And Zot.
And I have a wizard's bathrobe. It's like a regular robe, except you wear it when you're going to the bath.
And he gets a shield token for his bathrobe.
I get 1 shield token.
That's right. It's a
I mean,
powerful.
I can get hit 1 time.
That's nice.
Two,
But
but
that's what happened
still.
at one time.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. All right, when we play the 4-player variant,
Squishy.
Yes.
that's
Pookie
true.
doesn't get anything.
No.
Poor Pookie.
No, not poor
But
Pook.
Pookie has his own rules, and we'll talk about those when it's my turn.
That's right.
We will.
Oh, I just figured out my soup spoon gives me a bonus to damage roll.
Yes.
Awesome.
Damage, but you
It's a
can
damage boost.
you can turn your token in for a damage
I can
boost.
stab somebody in the face with a spoon.
I'm thinking you
Bludgeoning
poke him and then you whack him in the
I can
Are you the
stab
big
somebody
spoon
in the
or the
face
little spoon?
with a bludgeoning spoon. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
It looks like you're a little spoon.
It is a little spoon, and I'm a halfling, so
I swear I'm trying to do this. All right. I don't even know what I'm talking about. When we do the 4-player variant, everyone will get a full turn. And that means that we have these turn tokens. It has gold around the ring. That means that's a full turn for that person, which means they'll be able to do 2 actions and 1 shenanigan. If you play
2 actions or shenanigans and 1 shenanigan.
That's right. An action can be used
so
for
you
either an
can
action
do
or a shenanigan.
3 shenanigans, or you can do 2 actions and a shenanigan, or you can do 1 action, 1 shenanigan, and 1 shenanigan.
Yes.
Yes.
What's
All
a
that-
shenanigan?
Your cards may say shenanigan on them. I don't. I have 2 cards with action on it. But, for example, Deidre has a shenanigan where she can move 4 actually. She's 4. Graceful step. So that's a shenanigan for me. he has a shenanigan.
Gog has the Gog keep going shenanigan, which allows me to invigorate one for my shenanigan task. For those that don't have shenanigans, which I see both of you don't currently.
I do
have a
when I'm injured.
Yeah.
When I am wounded, I get shenanigans.
I don't know how Gurky got away with not having a shenanigan,
Because it's Gurky.
but that's like
I've got a cut.
impossible.
But a lot of time, we have not played with Gurky and Zot yet, so I'm super curious to see how it works out not having shenanigans at
Well,
your
you're gonna
disposal.
We're about to
You're
find
gonna
out.
See.
So these are our turn tokens. For round one, we're going to choose the order. Since Dawn has never played before, and Lance did play the demo, but we're going to play, Gog's going to go first, then Deidre, then these lovely blue bad guys we'll talk about in a second, and then it'll be Zot and Gurky. Usually, you would put all of them in this bag and you draw them at random. So every round is a new initiative. So you never know when you're going to show up, which makes for some interesting trying to plan. Okay, doesn't always go well. Next, what do we have? So we have bad guys. We have doors. We have all these lovely things. In the book, the chapter scenario explains how to place all of them. We've already placed them for the sake of time. But in room 1, which we're going to be entering into, we have 2 of these lovely what are these gizmots?
Gizmoblins.
Gizmoblins.
Yes.
And we also
We should give the scenario because it explains why. I think this is important. So we've said this is a campaign. There's a story that's going on, and the authors have done an amazing job of starting with the story. So, Deborah, dear, tell us a story.
tell us a story. All right.
Let me talk to you.
Once upon a time.
It's late at night at the Red Dragon Inn. The wench calls for last orders as many of the guests start heading up to their rooms or out into the streets. In a small office upstairs, Warthorn Redbeard, the dwarven proprietor, gets an early start on counting the day's take, admiring the glint of gold in the candlelight. Your band of famed adventurers remains at your table, as you often do at this time of night. Some of you are slumped over in your chairs, sent temporarily to oblivion by one too many drinks or dances with Gog. Others, like Wrench and Whizgill, who burned through their small stashes of coins hours ago, are paying off their tabs by bringing bottles of wine and ale up from the cellar. Fiona, Zot, and Gurky are all still awake, more or less, playing what looks to be the final round of gambling for the night. You can't win, you know, says Gurky, plucking a gold piece off of his mountainous hoard and throwing it into the ante. I raise. Pookie sticks his head out of Zot's sleeve and favors Gurky with an angry expression as the wizard scans his cards. Gurky grins back, trying not to break into a sweat as the tips of the rabbit's innumerable teeth poke out past his fuzzy lips. Well, says Zot, it seems like the only thing I can do is... Then he points dramatically over Gurky's shoulder. What's going on over... Nothing's going on over there, says Gurky, leaning back in his chair. I'm not falling for it. And yet, despite not falling for it, Gurky does hear the pitter-patter of both booted and bare feet running up from behind. Since he knows better than to let random people walk or run up behind him, Gurky turns around just as Whizgill and Wrench race breathlessly up to the table. By the time he turns back around, Fiona has leaned across the table and taken a peek at the 5 dragon cards in his hand. Seriously, Gurky, she says, raising an eyebrow. There's 3 dragons to a deck. It's like you're not even trying anymore. Well, says Gurky, I'm actually playing a little-known rules variant where... Wench slams down his toolbox in the middle of the game, scattering the ante. We need help, he says, luminous eyes darting. We were trying to help Warthorn out, but I think we made a mistake. What? Said Fiona. Did you break some bottles or something? Yes, said Wrench before shaking his head, but that's not the biggest problem. What he's trying to say, interrupts Whizgill, is that something's wrong with our new danger room. You can feel the entire inn shudder as if struck by a catapult stone, and a gout of black smoke erupts from the cellar entrance. Glasses shimmy off the tables, shatter on the flagstones. The wench, annoyed but graceful, negotiates the minor quake without spilling a drop from her fully laden tray. What the heck was that? Shouts Fiona. And what the heck is a danger room? We were working in the cellar, yeah, said Wrench, trying to build this artifice thing with combat constructs and wingalingers and spin blades and stuff so that novice adventurers could face off against them and hone their fighting skills. We thought it would be a good way to attract the type of clientele that Warthorn is always looking for, adds Whizgill. Mostly the reason we've been on bottle duty these past couple of months is so we have better access to the cellar, so that we can finish it and surprise him. Another tremor rocks the inn. A strange rhythmic chiming sound begins to issue from the cellar. You know, says Gurky, I'm pretty sure he's going to be surprised. Yeah, we know, Wrench looks over his shoulder. We were almost finished, but there was a short in the system, and now the dangering room is powering up, and we can't turn it off. Zot purses his lips. How long do we have until it's fully powered up? Something in the basement falls over, crashes, explodes, and amidst the din, you hear the unmistakable sounds of unseen constructs whirring to life. Wizgo looks down at the floor. According to my calculations, about 10 seconds ago, Pookie is already across the room and down the cellar stairs in a flash. Zot stands up, arcane power flashing from his hands. Make sure whatever's down there doesn't come up here. We'll try to get the rest of them sober, or at least awake. We'll be right behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the four of us,
So this
apparently
is
the other two are passed out.
Wizgill
There is
and
too much. Let me
Wrench's
sum up.
fault.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely it is.
So the four of us, who are the only ones conscious, apparently, are rushing down into the cellar. The danger room is powering on and off. And our job is to calm things down.
Cool.
And by calm things down, we're going to...
We're
In the
gonna
scenario,
break it all.
We're gonna break it.
X-Men.
What'd you say?
We're
Yes.
the X-Men in this scenario.
Yes, we
Yes.
are. Absolutely. So this first room, so we enter. It actually tells you where you enter. It gives you these lovely little green
Okay.
symbols there. So we enter here. Those doors that are right in front of us, they are closed at the moment. You can open them eventually, but
These three doors.
those three doors
these
right
three.
there will
Got
take
it.
us to the next room. Almost like, right, we're in an RPG, right?
But much like Zombicide, if you open those doors, we deploy the next room.
New guys.
Correct.
Got it.
Same story. These three doors will then lead us into the final room. This is the Room of Doom, as it tells you quite carefully. Same
But we
story.
must run the
Entering-
gauntlet first.
We're entering in the gauntlet.
Correct. Proceed.
We have to go into the maze of madness.
Yes,
And then end in the room of doom.
correct.
Got
There is
it.
an objective for every room that
We get
tells you.
points for getting to the final room fast.
No.
Oh.
No. There are no points for that. Your point is that you're not dead yet.
So let's start with scenario one. What's the objective of scenario one?
So scenario one, room one's objective is defeat all gizmoblins in the gauntlet. And there are 2 gizmoblins in the gauntlet. So
That's
we have
these
to
little
those are those
standees,
2
right?
little standees.
Okay.
Yep.
I also notice 2, 3 other special places on here. First are these purple. Those are impassable, correct?
Correct. You cannot go in them, period. You also cannot
Those
shoot
are
through
pillars.
them. They're pillars.
Yes, they're
Exactly.
holding up the end. That looks important.
Got it.
The yellow are rough terrain. Is that what they call it?
Correct. Yes.
So it takes 2 movements to enter it. 1 to leave, but 2 to enter it.
Correct.
And then these 2 are traps, and they've got 2 damage tokens on them. So if you or a bad guy triggers or walks across that or lands on that trap, they take 2 damage,
Correct.
Gotcha.
which is an important element because some of the things you may be doing are pushing or moving creatures. You're
also-
doing a lot of manipulation of the board, depending on
So
which
here,
character.
My action, if I do a ranged attack, I can actually push a target or push 2 targets.
Yes.
Correct.
So put yeah, we'll go through more of those details as we get through each action because I think everybody has some sort of flavor associated with that. But simply push is to push them away from you. So they do have to go away from you. They can't like go in a circle. Grab will grab someone and bring them to an adjacent hex near you. And is there a pull? I don't think there's a pull. I think grab is the only one.
Grab is part of grab is the pull.
Range, of course, is the number. Whenever there's a number, it's number of hexes away. And when it comes to impassables, those do not count towards that. So if it's, this person's 2 away, like these are 2 apart right now, but it looks like that because of the impassable, but technically they're 1, 2, 3 apart because you can't count the impassable.
What's the difference between a move and a leap?
Move means that you are walking along the ground. So you are stepping, running. Either way, your feet stay on the ground. So you have to be able to go through all of those spaces. In
Yeah.
this case, a leap, you are leaving from the spot you're on, and you are going to land in however many spaces away, in which case
Okay.
I've got a leap 2. So Deidre would be up here. If my feet do not touch the ground on this, boom, and I would land here would be a leap.
Got it.
That matters because there will sometimes be spaces that if you go through, you will take damage.
Right.
If you leap, you are over them, you don't take that damage.
Got it.
But impassable is still impassable.
Correct.
You can't go through, you can't leap through an impassable
Okay.
space.
Nope.
Does leaping over rough terrain still count as rough terrain, or
No.
does it
No.
count as a square?
1 square.
One square.
hex.
1 hex.
Excuse me, hex.
These are hexes. I just
They're not technically squares, they are hexagons.
Yep.
No,
One
it does
mobile
not.
unit.
Sure.
Correct. So that is exactly, that's the reason why leap can be valuable. It's because it can take you over difficult terrain and you are not
Over
using
traps,
extras.
over creatures.
Over hill, over dale.
We will hit the dusty trail. You
So-
were, no, Vanessa was Army. You weren't Army.
Are we,
Okay,
are we ready to start?
let's go ahead and start, and we'll
Let's
talk
do it.
about it as we go.
Okay, so we got Gog first, which means I've got 2 actions or shenanigans and 1 shenanigan. These gizmoblins are much too far away, so Gog take big steps. Says I can move 4 spaces, but I may pass through foes during this move. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, because that's the most direct route that Gog can go. So that's my first action. So these action tokens can be flipped over to say that you've done them, which helps you tremendously. I am now going to use one of my action cards, which says Gog still reach you, which is range 2. I grab a figure, so I'm going to grab this gizmoblin, and I'm going to put him right here on top of that trap. Ow. Because I grab him and bring him to an adjacent square. Traps are an available option for that.
Hex.
So hex. Thank you. Look, there we
Words.
go. So
One
that
bleed.
2 damage needs to go on number 2's blue card. So over on that other side, take those,
Yeah.
pass
Does
them
that
to Lance.
trap then disappear?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
The
It
trap
only
is
goes off
convenient.
once.
Trap has
you,
been
sir.
triggered.
Welcome, sir.
He takes 2 damage. Over on the what would be your right side of the board, they have the different enemies for this particular scenario. The Gizmoblin, the what is it called? Oh, that's right, we do.
Roborg.
What's it called? Sorry,
Roboger.
Roboger. Okay,
And then
The chaos.
Sparking.
Sparking engine.
Sparking Engine. So I forgot. This is us just getting used to it. There is actually a full turn order. First, we're supposed to fill the invigorate abilities, which we haven't done yet because we started the game. We're supposed to roll the schemer die. So this purple die is the schemer die, and it has 3 slash marks on it, like monster looking thing, and a couple of axes.
So
The-
we do this first.
Do this first because we got to determine what the monster's action is going to be. So when I roll this, it is the little ghost thing. Since we only have gizmoblins, which I only rolled 1, you run 1 for each type of monster. In this room, there's only 1. So the little fiery head dude is the second set of actions there. So just
put
put
it-
the
It
die.
says error. Menacing taunt.
Yeah,
not
Lance, go
found.
ahead and put that there. That way we know what it is. And then when it's their turn, we'll read what their action is.
Okay.
So now we start taking our actions.
Right. So, you
I
moved and then
And
you
pulled.
pulled.
Then I
him.
pulled, and so the first, when you're reading your action cards, it's read left to right, top to bottom. They don't go. You can't choose an order. It's you do it in the order that's listed. So first, I grabbed a figure, moved them to me. That triggered the trap. Next, I can do a melee attack, which has 2 yellow to 1 foe. So I grabbed 2 of these yellow dice. So yellow dice have a few different sides to them. There's 1 damage. There's 2 damage. And there's damage with a epic die. That's what the exclamation point is. If when you roll an epic die, a black dice get put into our epic pool, which we'll probably want to bring that card closer to us so it's easier to read and get to. That puts the die in the epic pool. The epic pool allows you to, when you say, you know what, I'm going to roll damage, I can grab the epic die and use it to enhance the damage. They call that empowering an attack. And then finally, you can also empower your defense. So if someone tries to come and hit you, and there's an epic die here, you can grab it, roll it to use it as a way to kind of dodge some of the damage.
Nice.
You don't have to roll it. It just automatically,
It gets rid of 2.
it gets rid of 2 automatically. Yeah.
Okay,
1
cool.
die
To all
equals 2.
targets.
It's a shield.
Yeah, but it's to all targets. So if they're hitting multiples of us and that's there, you can block 2 damage to all of them.
Nice.
Does the party have to agree on that?
Usually, yes, because the epic pool is considered common. It's common to
Community.
everybody.
Community.
Yeah. So it's
And then
community.
the final sign on here, which is my personal favorite, is the critical, which explodes. It does 1 damage and then you roll again. So you just add 2 whatever your roll is. So I'm going to roll 2 die against number 2. And I got 2 damage and 2 epics. So 2 epic dice get put in there. So I can't use these on my turn, but someone else on their turn, well, actually I could use them if I do another attack, which I'm actually considering doing. So put 2 more damage on number 2.
I got a 3.
You got a 3, so I'll give you a 1 and
There you go.
change.
So he's got 4 out of 5 at this point.
That's called math.
It is. But my action has a 3 cooldown,
Okay.
so I'm going to do that. And so that was my second action. But I have a shenanigan left, and I actually have a shenanigan action, which I'm going to invigorate 1, which means I'm going to remove
Nice.
one of those cooldowns from that. So for either Deirdre or those moving forward, number 2 has 4 damage. Number 5 is still undamaged. We have
Unharmed.
2 epic dice in the epic pool, and that is my turn.
Nice. All right. So then, Deirdre,
Correct.
it's your turn, right? So
Correct.
do you also roll the purple die?
No,
That die counts for this entire round.
yeah, it's the
That
start
is
of the round. That was my mistake.
Got
for
it.
doing
Okay.
that.
correct. So that will count for the round. And the next round, we will roll it again for what they'll do next time. So, Deirdre. Well, I am way back in La La Land. And even with my ranged, I cannot reach. Yeah, perfect.
Actually, I'll put it on because it's just put. Technically, there's a step that says fill the initiative bag.
So we're going to follow the rules. Yeah, that never happens. All right. So I am too far back. Even my ranged attacks, I'm not going to be able to reach them at this point. So I have a shenanigan, which is graceful step 4.
Move 4.
Move 4, which is different than a leap. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Gog, what's up? All right. Now I am going to.
Think deep thoughts.
I am going to go big or go home, right? So I'm going to use my Wings of Alana, lambast my foes. Now, because this has 3 charges, I will use 1 charge to use it. So that goes away somewhere. I guess I'll just put it over here.
Over here
Yeah.
with you in case you
In case-
recharge it.
fair.
Which I don't know.
So that is a leap 2. So from this spot, I leap over the trap. It does not hit me because I'm leaping over it. I'm not walking through it. And I land on this hex in front of D. It's my first step. Next is range 2. You don't take any negatives if you used a ranged attack and you are right next to a foe. You can use a ranged attack just as easily as a melee. I attack with 1 yellow die plus 1 to 2 foes at a range of 2. Well, look at that. Both of them are at a range of 2. This one is 1, and that one's 2 away. So I can attack both of them at the same time. So I'm going to use 1 yellow die, and I won't use from the epic pool yet. I'm going to leave it there for now.
You sure? You have 2 of them.
Yeah,
And aren't you attacking both of them?
I'm attacking both of them with this 1 shot. So I'm going to very likely kill 2.
Oh, good call. Yeah. Okay.
So, and then we'll just have 5 left for the other
You're not
folk.
killing them. You're drinking them under the table.
I am drinking them under the table. Or I am
No, we're destroying.
I'm
them.
turning them off.
Yes.
I'm finding the off button. So 1 yellow die. Okay. Yeah, fascinating.
Oh my goodness.
So hits both 2 and 5 for 1 hit, which should knock 2 out.
So go ahead and take 2, put him back in the pool, and then 2 will flip over because if we have to need him again for future.
And then 5 has 1 hit on him. And because it has this lovely exclamation point, that is a 3rd
Change.
epic die. So we have 3, and that's the max that can be in that pool. So it actually wouldn't be a bad idea for the next player to use 1 so that we're actually, using them. Because otherwise we can't put any more in there.
I mathed.
All right.
I tried that once.
And I can push 2 each target. But the thing is, I can't push 5 away from me because there's doors behind there. So I'm not going to push because it wouldn't do me any good. So that was my first action. I have a second action. And I think I am we're going to keep this simple. We're going to use one of my Divine Strike, which is on my board. You can always use the abilities on your board. They don't cost you any cooldown. They don't cost you any energy. You just can always use them. So I'm going to Divine Strike number 5, which is 1 yellow die against 1 foe. And I actually am. Are you guys okay if I empower this one? Because if I roll a exclamation point, we aren't going to be able to gain anymore.
Yeah, when you use from the epic pool, you cannot replenish the epic pool during that die roll.
Sure.
I don't have a
Yeah,
problem
let's
with
see
it.
why.
because You're probably going to kill them, which means we're just going to be moving up and following you.
That probably. It's just exactly. But if you guys
fine.
are okay with it, it's still going to leave 2 in there,
Yeah,
so we
that's
still
fine.
got room. Okay. So I am empowering this attack. So I have a yellow die and I have a black die. Roll them together. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 takes 4 damage, and it has a fortitude of 5, so that destroys 5.
So I flip him over.
Nice.
Give you that back. He's
And that is the room that is empty right now.
Well, I'm glad that we could,
help out.
Exactly. Now, the doors.
So then the blue token.
Correct. Blue does not have any actions. There's nobody. No,
Right.
we have no living blue at the moment. So actually, we just keep going. If those doors were open and we could see the blue guys in the other room, we'd do it. But that is not the case. So bye. So Zot and Pookie, you're in an interesting situation. We're in a room with no bad guys. So we need to start getting those doors open.
But you still have to take your actions.
Correct.
Okay, so Zot has an interesting little piece of flavor. He has Pookie, or more to the point, Pookie has a Zot. So Pookie actually has its own initiative tracker. So I put Pookie in the initiative when you flip those over for my turn. And Pookie is this bunny.
Crazy buddy.
Funny bunny. Mm-hmm. It says on his card, Pookie is a heroic figure controlled by the Zot player. During setup, place Pookie on Zot space. When you roll scheme dice, also roll Pookie's die to determine which ability he will use this round. Okay.
So we should have
So
done
I
that.
need a scheme die.
So here's a purple die to you.
Oh, so he uses a schemer die
Yes.
for his. Okay.
So
His is bunny ears. Pookie summons Zot. There's a rabbit foot. Pookie's on a rampage, and there's the jaws, which is Pookie's in a foul mood. I don't have Pookie's die here, so I will.
Probably haven't gotten it out.
So I will
We've never
say
played.
that the axe is Pookie's in a foul mood.
Okay.
The face is Pookie's on a rampage, and the claws are Pookie's summon Zot
Okay.
for this.
For this particular. Yeah.
Claws, so Pookie will summon Zot.
Okay.
Okay, for this particular round. During Zot's turn, Pookie also activates. Zot's player may use Pookie's ability before, after, or between Zot's own actions and or shenanigans. Pookie does not activate during Zot's partial turn in a two-hero game. Pookie is tiny, meaning that he can share a space with another figure. He is also avoided, meaning that schemers will ignore him, focusing instead on other heroic figures. So, Pookie just gets to bounce around the field and cause havoc, and no one does anything to Pookie. So, that being said,
Nor should they.
I'm going to actually use Pookie's ability first.
Okay.
So, go ahead and put Pookie at the top of my initiative.
Okay.
He's going to leap 3.
Do you want to go 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3?
That's the better one. 1, 2, 3, the second.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Because as a part of that, it places Zot on or adjacent to Pookie. So I'm going to be adjacent by 1.
Oh, adjacent. So you want him ahead?
Yes.
Up there
Nice.
beside
That's a way to move
Yeah.
Zot much quicker.
Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of a Jason, we've got a Jason back here running.
Hey,
the board.
Jason.
Jason.
Hey, we have our
Here
camera
she is.
guy.
It took me a minute to find that segue, but
You got
I
one.
found it.
Yep. Look at that. We have. Hello. I hope you can hear him. If not, he's saying hello.
We really do need to get a microphone for him back there
That-
eventually for this game.
We'll get there.
Because this is my game.
The man behind the curtain. All right.
All right, so Pookie has done his thing. So what I like to do is I like to turn the card sideways when the character has done its thing, so that there's no curiosity or confusion. And now Zot has his 2 actions or shenanigans and a shenanigan. Zot doesn't have any shenanigans while he's perfectly healthy, so he only does actions. So he'll get 2 actions to do. Now, I noticed that Zot is 3 spaces away from a door.
Yes.
And he has an action of leap 3, so called teleport self. So for my first action, I would like to teleport myself
Bamf.
to that door. Then I can't do anything else.
Well, hold on.
So?
How do we open doors?
In the objective phase, which we have not gotten to yet,
Oh, so he can't open the door as a face
Nope.
here. Okay.
doors are considered impassable as long as the door token remains in play. For this scenario, doors will be removed from the map during the objective phase if objectives are achieved. Well, we just achieved it. Later scenarios may have different rules for doors.
Yeah. So in the second scenario, as an example, there's a gravel wall like a stone wall, that once you complete, if you get to the objective phase and you haven't knocked them down, something happens and then they get knocked down, or you can do 1 damage to it and that knocks it down to open up the next room. This is because it's the tutorial. They're keeping you in the room until you finish
like
the
it.
round.
I like it.
Okay, so with 1 action left and no shenanigans, I would now do my action to meditate and invigorate 2, but I haven't done anything to need that yet, so I will just pass my turn.
Fair.
And I'll take Pookie back, so no one else can use Pookie but me. And I will pass my turn over to Gurgi.
Okay, well, I mean, this room's pretty much cleared out. Thank you very much.
You're
All right,
welcome.
so, Gurky, having no foes to fight and a lot of doors to get through, I think I'm just going to burn my 2 actions to move up to the door. So, Gurky has a move 4, and then it says traps you pass through during your move don't trigger. So,
The thief's
Good to
ability.
be legal.
hey, on my first
So
action,
usually they go off, but he's the thief. He can get around it.
on my first action, I'm going to move 4 to here. On my second action, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3.
Nice. I like it.
That's it.
2 actions. Not worried about the shenanigan. All right.
I got no shenanigans.
No, sure you don't. I
Gurky
believe.
He is a clean dude. He doesn't do nothing wrong. No cheating.
Okay,
Anywho.
so on your card it says move 4. Do you not have to fill the whole thing?
Correct. You can't up to 4. It's gonna
Oh,
would be a
great.
more
Thank you
accurate
for
verbiage
asking.
of
I
that.
didn't even think about that.
You do. It is not an exact. It's up
It's
to.
what I do.
Yeah.
I ask questions.
Any number that range 2, push 2, those up to
That's the max.
It's
Maximum.
more like guidelines than rules.
Exactly.
Right.
The more like guidelines. So at this point, we have finished the combat phase. If you see over,
Yes.
and
we
now we're
have
in
an
the objective phase.
Combat, draw, and
Check for objectives and win conditions. And in your lovely book that comes with there, it tells us that our objective is defeat all gizmoblins in the gauntlet. The lose condition, which was the players lose if any hero is defeated. Well, that definitely did
Not
not happen.
yet.
Not even close. So, since we did meet the objective condition, now these 3 lovely doors that are blocking our dear wizard and our dear thief go away.
You know, that's a lot of doors they have in a basement.
And then
the storage room.
time to
They
reinforce.
completed the room, so it all opens so they get to the next one. Like,
But why wouldn't you just put like one big door? Maybe
that's
just
Josh.
2.
God doesn't care.
2 doors.
True.
You gotta put
Reinforce.
3 doors.
So now we have a new room, so we need to get some bad guys in there. I know. So
Load-bearing doors.
Warthorn is not going to be a fan of the creative reorganization of all of his kegs and barrels of ale, but a far more pressing concern is the iron rods that the Gizmoblins are launching at you. So we remove the door tokens, and now we deploy the following in the Maze of Madness, room number 2. Because we have 4 heroes, it will guide you in here that tells you what the setup is. So we're going to have 5 Gizmoblins in this room. We have them all in front of us, right? And the numbers don't really matter. Technically, you're supposed to randomly like turn over the cards and be like, number 2 goes to A and number 4 goes to B. They all have the same abilities, so it's not really, I don't think it really matters at this point. So for the sake of time, if you can put a Gizmoblin on A, B, D as in dog, E, and F. And then we are going to have 2 traps, each worth 2 damage. So similar to the first room. There's going to be a trap on C and a trap on G.
get that one from over there.
Do we need to leave the one that's in the room?
Yep.
with us?
Yes, it does stay there. If there's any reason we have to go back there.
Can you
Oh,
switch
I'm
that
so
one?
sorry.
On G.
On G.
Right by the door. Put 2 there,
Boom.
and then go ahead and put 2 on that other trap.
Got
So
you.
the thing I like about this game while they're doing that is the initiative isn't always the same. So sometimes, like in that case, I didn't get to really do anything because they'd already taken care of the threat in the room. So I just got to move forward to a door. Now the next turn, when the initiative comes up, I may be last, I may be first. So I may be the first one to encounter someone, or I could have to do the cleanup.
Correct.
You never know what it's going to be, and I do love that mechanic about it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Fest.
So now we're back at the top of the round for the ready phase, right?
First step is to invigorate all abilities.
So
Well-
I used one and can invigorate one. It doesn't look like anybody else.
None of us have. So
Okay.
now we need to roll the scheme dice. So we will roll one purple die for the blue bad guys.
Those
Yeah,
guys were
they're
dead.
just all blue. Yep.
All blue.
Oh,
Aha! Killed him.
See, you already got him. So we've got a axe
to grind.
to grind against these guys. And so I will sometimes put it. Yeah. So just put it.
So according to this, that says error. Dispensing non-lethal trap. They will move 2 towards a foe. They can also attack at a range of 4.
Ooh.
They attack 1 foe. Harm 1 and put a 2 damage trap in the unoccupied space nearest the attack to that target.
So the harm icon doesn't actually have a number on it. It just says harm. And what harm means is if they do to whomever they did damage, this affects them. So
Okay.
I harmed you, this affects you.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
So the
Clear as mud.
fill initiative bag, which I have put all 4 of our characters and the blue token in here.
Our objective, so what we're going after, is defeat all Gizmoblins in the Maze of Madness. The traps, whatever. But the Gizmoblins is what we have to
Yep.
defeat to move
Right.
into the final room.
Let's do it.
A lot more rough terrain, similar to impassable columns. So going first, it's Gurky.
Ooh yeah.
See?
Oh,
It
do
was
we?
last, but the first shall be,
Okay.
what, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
All right.
Yeah, no,
I read that somewhere.
I can put them all out if we want to.
It was a bestseller.
I mean, let's do that. Let's put them all out.
I'm
Let's
fine
see
with
the order.
Yeah, we can plan better that way. It's not spontaneous.
Uh-huh. That's actually not supposed to happen, but because we're in a
Oh, really?
tutorial, we're learning. No, it's supposed to be one at a time.
Okay. Well, then let's.
No,
go.
because you pulled me next.
And then he put him back in the bag. I'm
She
just
caught
saying.
us.
Uh-huh.
All right.
No,
All
that.
right.
Called us out.
because that's part of the challenge is we don't know if blue goes next, if blue goes
Got it.
last.
Okay.
It requires a little bit more thought, which is interesting because that's different than if you're playing in an RPG where you're going to know your initiative order. If you're playing, in a Pathfinder or D&D, here you don't. So it's an interesting dynamic.
So the yellow terrain.
Costs
enter.
2 moves to enter.
Unless you're jumping or leaping.
Leaping, correct. You can leap over them.
But you cannot land on.
No, you can.
You can
When
land
you're
on.
leaping?
You can land on.
Let's double check, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
It comes with a handy dandy reference manual, which gives you explanations for all these words, and I love it.
Okay.
Everyone needs a glossary in life.
So I am. We rolled the purple die. Do you need to roll your Pookie?
Yeah.
I will do that for Pookie's turn.
Okay. All right.
I will adjust the rules for that particular case.
Okay. The first thing
The
I'm
die
gonna
is
do.
probably in that box.
I'm gonna do thieves canter, and I'm gonna move 4.
Things can't or what?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then I'm gonna sneak attack.
The thief's gonna sneak attack.
You know.
What?
You're going to sneak attack with your wooden spoon?
Yes, of course.
Ooh, you have a reaction.
What is this trigger? It says reaction.
So the
When you
reaction
attack.
when you
Oh, okay.
attack, you may put it. So this has 4 uses. So when you
Yes.
attack, you can spend one of the uses and do that.
Okay, well, I'm going to try it out. A little bit of contact poison always hurts. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and activate that as a reaction to me attacking. I'm going to use my sneak attack. It says melee, 1 yellow die, and then what is this?
+1.
+1 to a foe. And this gives a weaken state, a debuff, a weakened debuff to this Gizmoblin. So he's weakened 1, which also triggers my backstab ability. So I need some dice.
What does weaken mean?
Weaken. A weaken token is a kind of debuff token that causes a figure to attack for less damage. When a figure with weakened token makes an attack, that figure calculates all damage, including rolling damage dice, adding bonus damage, spending damage boost tokens, then discards all their weakened tokens and subtracts 1 for each token discarded in this way, down to a minimum of 0.
Look
The-
at all those tokens.
The attacking figure always discards all of their weakened tokens after the attack, even if they had more tokens than damage that their attack would have dealt. If a figure with weakened tokens does not attack on its turn, it keeps its weakened tokens.
All right. So this guy's going to be weaken 1, which does activate my backstab ability.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll these. Okay, so I got 2 damage plus 1, so 3 damage total.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 of the little dudes there.
We've maximized the epic pool has 3, which is its
Oh,
max.
yes.
So we've maximized that.
Maximize the epicness.
So
I'm
3 to 2. So if you wanted to put 3 damage tokens onto
number
Oh, it's number 1. I'm sorry. I misspoke. It's number 1.
Boom. And that was a move for my first action, and then my sneak attack for my second, and I have no shenanigans. Boom.
So that for
I don't
now.
have any.
That's Gurky's turn.
Oh, even unwounded? Alrighty.
Yeah. That's why I said Gurky is the cleanest dude in this room.
That's an interesting.
No shenanigans.
well,
He's not doing
Up to
nothing
nothing.
wrong.
My shenanigan. I just walk. I just walk places on my shenanigan.
You gracefully step.
Well, thank you.
That's me.
All right, who's
Go
next
ahead.
in the initiative?
Oh, wait till we find out.
Zot!
Oh, look at
Hey,
that. Who knew?
Oh my goodness, it's me!
It is.
All right, so here is Pookie's initiative tracker, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, my bad.
That's gravity.
I did mind.
I went ahead and looked into the box and I got Pookie's die, so I
Nice.
won't have to confuse myself. I will untap my characters
Oh,
like I do.
You magic players.
I'm going to go ahead and roll Pookie's die now to find out what he does, which will help me figure out what I'm going to do. He got his little rabbit's foot. Pokey's on a rampage.
oh.
Pokey's on a rampage. He leaps 5. Each foe Pookie leaps over or lands on takes 1 damage.
That's
Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to move him anywhere where he's going to jump over a foe, but I am going to move him 5 forward at the very beginning.
just a straight line.
Straight line.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. That
There
just puts
we
him
go.
close by. Now,
Close.
again, he is very tiny. He's minuscule, so any one of us can use that square.
Right.
Okay.
Which is very helpful.
Does Pookie count as an ally?
Yes.
Cool.
I believe so.
So one of Gurky's triggers for his backstab is that he has an adjacent ally.
Oh.
Useful.
Yeah.
Ally.
Okay. So for my turns, I'm going to do a leap 2. Well, actually, it's a leap 3. Teleport self, but I can only move 2 squares because, or 2 hexes, 2 movement units. No,
Oh, I thought you was going face to face. Where you going?
I haven't decided where I'm going to go yet.
My bad.
So I would like to talk to the group.
Oh,
Since you guys are going to have to come forward as well, would it be best for me to get around these guys, placing myself in harm's way between these two so that you guys can come up? Or should I just go ahead and move forward and try to take out that guy, knowing that you will be in the same predicament I was last time, unable to do anything except stand there?
We can always go through you.
We can go through you. I would say you try to get rid of 1 because right now we have 5 blue that still have yet to go. It would be 1 less one less Gizmoblin to deal damage.
Yeah, just don't block our paths coming in because we still have the
I think that's what
rough
he's
terrain
asking.
we can come through. So if you're blocking here or here, we should still be able to get in.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Then I will adjust my plan. My first action will be to Arcane Bolt, which is a range 3 attack,
Nice.
1 foe. So this number 1
Number 1?
Gizmoblin is 3 away from me.
Do you want to use any
I
of the,
would love to, if you wouldn't mind.
the really cool black and white dice?
Attack and powers.
I will
Boom.
roll on the game play space-board so that people can actually see what happened.
3.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Bam.
So
that
he
should-
already had 3 damage.
So 1 is gone.
So he has taken a nap.
Night, night.
And then I will hop 3 by doing my teleport self of leap 3. So I will teleport self and move
Straight
Straight
here.
ahead,
to.
or because you can teleport anywhere. You can teleport into a difficult terrain because your teleport doesn't care.
Yeah,
It's
and
magical
It doesn't cost to exit.
because
difficult terrain.
you're not.
Oh, I
working
think I'll
from
go
there.
on A if you don't mind. A in the Maze of Madness. Thank you.
I bamfed.
That has completed my ability to do anything.
Nice.
Okay. I wasn't doing these. I should have. I'm going to hand Pookie back to you. And then
Thank
we'll
you.
Confuse the situation.
Oh, Pokey, we've done so well so far.
So far.
Deirdre.
Deirdre.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, then, I think
We almost went in complete reverse order.
I know.
we did. It's really entertaining, actually. All right. My first
Blue had gone next.
action is going to be my shenanigan, graceful step, which is to move 4. I'm going to.
So you can execute your actions in any order?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I'm only going to go here. I'm not going to because my block. Yeah,
Yep.
I am. Okay. I'm not. Never mind. I'm trying not to. Never mind. I'm a liar. So I was here. 1, 2, 3, 4 to enter difficult terrain. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be on top of that.
My
level thing.
hope was to be able to go, unless you kill 4, which won't matter if you do,
Hmm.
was to pull to where you were going to at and pull him next to me
I see.
and attack him.
Okay.
So
Well, let's see what happens.
happens.
This is why I talk.
Yes. Well, I think I am going.
I'm a wizard.
To...
We're planners.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that intelligence modifier. Yes.
I wasn't going to be able to get to that guy, which is why I was glad you got to him.
Yep. Ooh, that's difficult. That's not going to do much good. I can either use this again, which on the one hand, no, I don't need a leap. I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to do Divine Strike, which is range of 2. 1 yellow die. So I'm going to roll 1. Should I empower this? What does the group think? Do I empower this? Because an empower could add another 2 or 3
I'm okay with it.
or critical hit. So either way, it's going to do some decent damage, and those are only 5.
That's fine.
I could possibly
If
one-shot
you
them.
use them, we can always replenish them if we roll
Yeah.
better.
Correct, exactly. And there'll still be 1 left.
And damaging the ones that are harder to get to, always in favor of that.
Yeah, so because we're agreement, I'm going to do 1 die, and I'm going to empower, so I'm rolling these 2.
Can you use more than one?
I can.
If they're
Okay.
there.
If they're there.
But in my opinion, that's overkill for these guys because
Oh,
they're
yeah,
only
sure.
a 5. But yes, you can, which could be very valuable in the next room. All right, so these. All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh,
3.
not quite what I wanted. That's all
all
right.
right.
All right, so 3 damage to number 4. If you would be so kind as to get a little damage, which would be.
Do
Yeah.
number.
So then I have 1 action left, and my 1 action left is going to be. You know, why on earth not? I'm going to attack 4 again. I can do it because it has no cooldown time. I can do it as many times as I want. So I'm going to attack number 4 again.
Do
I'm
it.
not going to empower this one.
Sure. You're
So
gonna
that,
kill it anyway.
right, exactly. I like the way you think. So 1 yellow die to 1 foe. And that's
Boom.
2.
There we
That is
are.
a goner of a number 4.
Talking about. That's what we're talking about.
So there we go.
Huh.
And so 4 is now off the board.
Bye bye.
That was my
job.
last action.
Flip it.
And that was my turn.
Nice. All right. It's either going to be blue or Gog.
It's Gog.
Boom.
Oh, they go
All right,
last.
Gog.
How interesting.
Let's
All
just.
right. What are you doing, Gog?
I'm going to use my shenanigan to clear that
Sure.
for the invigorate. I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Nobody's near me.
Nope.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
Not sorry. Not
Sorry, not sorry.
So I'm going to move again. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
What's up, dude? And that's my turn.
All right.
Nice.
One more. We know what it is. We already know it's going to be blue.
All right.
So, and we know what blue's doing. So, if someone could help me, or I could, if I stand up, it's not going to
We are moving
So-
every one of them towards the nearest foe.
So 3 is already at the nearest foe, so he doesn't have to move because he's got Gog in front of him. So
Does-
2,
Does a bad guy cross difficult terrain in order to get there?
yes.
But they will avoid traps.
So then 5 would probably do this.
No, he'd probably go here.
Either way.
Because the foe closest is
Oh,
me.
okay, is you. Got it.
That one
Okay.
would go from B to 1, 2.
Right
yes.
mentality, wrong location.
Okay,
Got
now at a range of 4, they all attack one foe.
So 2 is going to attack. Now we can think through this. We can choose who they're going to attack because
I
so-
think straight line is easier than a curved line.
I agree.
It is,
So
but we also, because they're the same number of squares, they're not. It's going to be Zot because it can't go through the impassable.
Oh, that's true. So this is purple, which means he wouldn't be able to go through
can't
it.
shoot
So
through
he
it.
would have to aim for me.
Yeah, to
Correct.
get to Gurky, it's 3. It's 2 to Zot. That's the closest foe.
So, yep. So number 2 would attack Zot for 1. Now, if you want to use that shield, you can, or if you want to take the 1 damage, because that shield is actually going to protect you against
Do
2.
I get to choose whether or not that happens after the attack?
You can.
It blocks and
Or
attack.
is it an automatic, he just attacks and does 1 damage?
He attacks, does 1 damage. You can use the shield to remove up to 2.
Okay, so where does the harm come in?
Harm happens when
When they
you.
hit,
Yeah,
it will
they
happen
hit
to
you.
you because you are the
You
target
don't
of the
take damage.
attack, but you wouldn't. What do you mean?
Well, he harmed you. You just took the shield off of it, so that text still comes into play.
Okay, so I'm going to use my shield then to not take any damage.
Okay.
So my wizard's bathrobe
Uh-huh.
has now been used.
Yep.
So I would flip it over and turn the shield in
Yep. Yep. There.
to the pile.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
So that was 2's
But
attack.
the harm condition is put a 2 damaging trap in the unoccupied space nearest the attack to the target. So I believe
Right
that
there.
is the spot. And that does.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, if we weren't jumpers, that would be difficult. Leapers, excuse me. If we didn't leap, that would
Correct. Number 3 is going to attack Gog, who's right in front of him, for 1.
Take 1.
He's just going to take the 1. And then there's also the harm on that one, too. Which means he's going to place a trap.
be on a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can place it on the barrel.
Yeah. Put it right there.
Be right there.
So,
Get weirder and weirder.
2.
And then last of all,
Wow.
the last guy, number 5, is
He can't damage me.
yeah, he can shoot you.
I
Can't.
thought, is it range 2 or range 1?
It is a range of 4.
4.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So he would shoot you, I believe,
Another-
because you
for
would be
another one?
closest for another 1.
And then it will put a trap right there. Right here. That's the next closest.
An occupied space
Unoccupied.
nearest the attack towards the target.
Yeah. So that's not available. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's unoccupied. That would be the nearest one.
I believe so.
So what do we
Towards the
think?
target.
What do we think of Tales from the Red Dragon Inn?
I
Yeah.
like it. I like
This is
it.
a lo- it's we played 2 scenarios and we really like it.
Yeah, this is good stuff. It very much, I mean, is a very much a campaign style, like kind of dungeon delvey. It reminds me a lot of like Dungeon. If you've ever
Yes.
played
Yeah.
Dungeon board
I
game,
think I played it once, and
Yeah.
yes,
it's very very cool. I like it. I love the theme, and I love the fact that you get like the sculpts on these
Miniature.
minis are really really well done as
Yeah.
Yeah.
well. So
yeah,
yeah, I think it's really cool. Like the quality of the game, and we didn't even get to go through everything that's in the box. But
Oh,
if
no.
I'm not mistaken, I think Josh said make sure you square away like an hour to
Yeah.
punch out all
Yeah.
your stuff because there's nothing but tokens. Which
So
is
there's a
awesome.
little video I took of myself. I got the job of punching these out. So there's like a 45-second video of my excitement at what it all
So
looked like.
many
Which, just to be
tokens.
clear, I was folding laundry, so I didn't.
You don't
Just leave
have
her
to
on that.
speak
Yeah,
up
you
for
don't have.
yourself.
Yeah,
Oh, I am, because I saw what she punched out afterwards. It's like, man, I'm glad
Yeah,
I was
there's a
helping you
ton.
with something.
There's a
Wow.
ton in
Yeah.
here.
So if there's anything downside, I would say it's that you've got to punch out a lot of tokens, but they
that's
give
good.
you baggies.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of good,
Yeah.
nice
Dave,
baggies.
show the top down real quick, because we got the.
yeah.
Yeah, look at all these bags
Bag.
over here.
After bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
And
give,
there's
but they
still
give
more.
them, but
So
they give you
luckily-
bags. Someone was thinking when they packed it. So bless you, Slugfest.
Yeah,
you gave
yeah.
me the
You
bags.
guys did great. I love it. It's fun. The theme is fantastic. I
Mm-hmm.
love everything Red Dragon in general. I have sadly not gotten a chance to play Battle for Greyport,
Mm-hmm.
but I really love
It's
this.
rough.
Is
but
it
it's good? It's
Yeah.
hard, but it's good.
This?
That's the way it should be.
Joshy and I are huge fans of Zombicide, and this is very much like a fantasy themed Red Dragon Inn
It is.
esque.
Well, and when we were doing our
Version of
last
that.
episode, you mentioned Hero Quest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was just like, that's, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It
Very
reminds
much.
me of what you were
Very-
describing
very
with this
similar.
kind of.
Or the old Dungeons and Dragons board game.
Yes.
Yep.
Very much
Yep.
the same thing, except
Yep.
the miniatures are much, much more detailed and much cooler.
Yeah.
It felt
I
like
agree.
they took their time to really think through it. Like when I looked over the rules, I mean, you need to do some reading, but it's not difficult to understand. If you're a role
Right.
player, a lot of it is instinctual. You're like, yeah, okay, that does make sense. But I don't know if it feels like they took their time and that they really wanted to put the care into it, because we all love the Red Dragon Inn, right? If they
Right.
want to do justice to giving us a chance to play these characters in this kind of a format.
Yeah,
So-
and I love any adventure game that's like an action-based adventure game that is pretty straightforward, and even if there is a decent amount of material in the instruction book, what I find in games like this is mainly it's just for clarification.
Yep.
Right? It might take you a little while to get going on the very first game, but it's not one of those games that every time you got to get the rules out and you're like, okay, what do I do on this part again? It's like it's pretty straightforward once you kind of get that ball rolling.
I mean, you guys did 2 rounds and already
Right.
had
I
a
feel
plan.
I feel like we could probably like bust this game out now that we
Mm-hmm.
know how to play. We could probably bust it out in 45 minutes to
So we
an
could.
hour and a half.
Take a picture of this,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then,
and then
off
actually-
camera finish the game.
Yeah,
Correct.
we could.
Or
totally
if we
could.
knew what we were doing, start all over again and play, because it
Absolutely.
should take about an hour to
Yeah.
finish the scenario.
Yeah, it says, I think the 60 to 90 minutes or 60 to 120,
Yeah,
something like
that's
that
pretty
for a
good.
regular
90 to
scenario.
120.
90, 120, yeah.
Feels like this one's a little shorter because this one's a little bit lighter. 2
Yeah.
took us about, I would say about maybe 90
Well,
minutes.
and they provide,
And that's with 2 players.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
So
They-
I mean, not to say that the time frame is going to change too much, but if you got 4 players that know what they're doing, it is going to reduce it just a little bit.
and it scales well. So like I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, they put partial actions in there if you're just playing with 2 or less. There is
Yeah.
a solo mechanic. I don't know too many details about it. But once you play with up to 4 players, it can add more creatures. The campaign even has a difficulty level after scenario 1 that you can go up in difficulty, which places the creatures and traps in different places, making it more difficult / they come at you faster, which changes the difficulty. And we're really impressed. We're very grateful for Slugfest to give Lance the chance and the podcast a chance to kind of review it. We haven't done really a lot of reviews. This is probably the first one we've purposefully said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and
I
do
love
that.
it. I love it.
Very
do
much
too.
enjoy the game. Please
We do
check
too.
out Slugfest Games. I believe it sells for $109. I think 110 is the price for it right now.
That's worth it just for the things in the box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a ton in it.
The bat box is packed
And then
of stuff.
that doesn't cover the entertainment value. That's
Correct.
Just the stuff.
Yeah.
And if you want a chance to test it, I believe it is available through Steam, through Virtual Tabletop.
Oh, nice,
So
nice.
a lot of the Slugfest folks, which if you can find their Discord server, frankly I don't know if I still have a link to it, nor do I know the public nature of it. I just
You
know
could
they have a
you could
Discord
probably
server.
get on their website.
Right.
They'll probably have all their Discord server and
Yeah, and they go live on
social media
Twitch
stuff,
often to play
Yep.
Red Dragon Inn. I believe they're going to do, if they haven't already done, Tales of the Red Dragon Inn, and you can acquire it. I think purchase it through Tabletop Simulator to try it out. But for $110, you get a lot.
that's not
Really
bad. Yeah,
do.
it's a big box too.
Yeah.
And the replayability, because
Yeah.
what we could play, we're playing a 2-player right now, Deidre Gog. Next time, maybe we play as Eve and Gurky. Next time, like you've got so many different options with 6 different players to be able to play. And how you play may change because as you go further in the game, you're going to get new cards. You build an armory where you have more equipment and more items that you can get. And then based upon who has what item, that changes it too.
You have
So,
a power tree that you can
yeah.
use your
yeah, there's
special
power.
things.
We
you
haven't
can
even
give
gotten to
items
that.
to go up and get more items.
Is,
if you-
is there a drinking mechanic in this as well?
Not that I'm aware.
Not that we
of.
know of.
Then I'm going to suggest that when we play this, if you take damage, you take a drink.
Fair.
Oh, I like that.
Fair.
All right.
Interesting.
There's the
like
drinking
that.
mechanic. Always necessary.
We're getting a
Dig
thumbs
it.
up from
So-
Jason.
Say, all right,
you go.
all right. The director
So,
agrees.
we didn't finish the scenario, but use that as an excuse to go get the game so you
Yeah,
can finish yourselves.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who knows what might happen? Your game may be completely different. It probably will be. You'll probably learn it a lot faster. And I'm a dumb. So. All right.
But always, I will play Zot.
There we go.
And I will have my Pokey.
That's right. That's right. That being said,
It's an established fact.
yeah. First of all, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 251. Our
Factor play.
That's right, our Factor play of Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. Thank you again to Slugfest.
Yes, thank you.
For our demo copy.
What a great
it is
game.
a wonderful game.
It
Thank
is.
you so much for letting us
This is
play
fun.
it. I mean, I would love to play. I mean, we've played Red Dragon Inn on the podcast, but I don't know that we've done it since we started doing video. So that may be something that we have to do because that's a game we could probably play everybody at. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll get
Oh,
get that working as well.
We're
And
also getting another thumbs up from Jason.
yeah,
He wants to do it as an actual drinking
Yeah,
game.
that may
He
be-
wants to bring in 12 cameras
that's fine.
so that we can all have our own.
That's fine. I like it.
He's going crazy behind the camera, so
I
there we
like
go.
Got
it.
mine a mini extreme.
All right. Okay. So on our last episode, episode 250, that's right, 250 of the Established Facts, we established that every podcast needs a Joshy. Thank you, Josh. And on episode 251, our Tales from the Red Dragon Inn Factor play, we have established, when in doubt, never forget your Pookie.
Absolutely
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
Darn
Thank you
straight.
guys so much for joining us on episode 251 of the Established Facts, and we will check you later.
Bye, everybody.
Game on.
Dog says bye.
Doses.
My goddess protects me.